Greetings nerdy list aficionados and welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. Today we're looking at the Joker. He's been on the minds of lots of people at the time of this recording, and in general is usually pretty close to the surface. He's a very iconic character. And like most characters these days, that means that there are some alternate versions. A decent amount. Jokers hailing from other universes or just mediums to take a look at. Today we're going to be tackling some of the scariest versions. And the Joker is already scary, so that's saying something. All Jokers are scary. I wouldn't want to be hanging out with him. I'm no Harley. I'm not that brave. I'm Sasha, and these are the top 10 scary alternate versions of the Joker. Let's get started. Number 10. Harley Quinn, Batman Damned. Yes, we're talking about Brian Azzarello's Batman Damned for more than just the penis panel. Cause for those who missed it, this is the comic that had the fun controversy that there was a nude Batman panel, full frontal but in the shadows, a tasteful nude, and people tripped out, so DC took it out. So now the Peen edition is a collector's item, there's only about 15,000 out there. And they then reissued the comic with it blocked out and then issued a statement with the excuse of, oh well, we always draw the whole thing, then shade it in. It was a printing error, to which I say, sure Jan. So in this comic, as Batman travels through the surreal world, occasionally pantless, he encounters the Joker, or at least he thinks he does. This is after news that the Joker has died, by the way, so scary scary. Also there's this really sacrilegious panel where he's Jokerized Jesus, but the penis is the problem apparently. But when Batman gets up to where he needs to go to confront his arch nemesis, it's Harley who's there. She's had herself surgically altered to look like her puddin'. This is because she's so distraught and unhinged over his loss. Their confrontation gets really weird. She tries to rape him and he ends up strangling her. But he's kind of possessed while it happens. Rated R, black label, edgy, but it's still the penis that's the problem, am I right? Actually this comic's pretty cool, check it out. Starting off this video real X-rated, did you miss me? This is why they had to take me off, I need to be stopped. Number 9. Dark Knight Returns Joker. The Dark Knight Returns is an iconic tale by Frank Miller that is partially responsible for launching the Dark Age of comics, a gritty Elseworlds future tale featuring an aged Batman who gets back into the game after a wave of crime breaks out in Gotham. This tale featured a Joker who was catatonic and inactive until Batman returned. A Joker who was more clearly in love with Batman than versions past had been. This Joker was more methodical than others too. He was calculated and calm with bursts of orchestrated devastating violence, such as killing an entire television audience or poisoning cotton candy being handed out to children. This Joker even snaps his own neck. He really wants to join the Neck Snap Club, exclusive membership. You get nothing except the number of necks snapped. When this was adapted into an animated film, the voice actor was Michael Emerson, and he gave a very low-key, almost normal performance with a manic edge. It added to the chilling factor, in my opinion at least. Number 8. Alfred Joker. Whatever happened to the Caped Crusader? This is an Elseworld story written by famed writer Neil Gaiman. It featured a bunch of macabre stories centering around a surreal funeral for Batman. In one of these stories, a Batman retold origin kind of thing, Bruce is someone who is severely mentally ill, driven over the edge by grief. He becomes Batman but is only handling petty crime, but it isn't enough. So Alfred, who loves Bruce dearly, begins hiring actors to be the supervillains that Batman fights. But eventually that's not enough anymore either. No, Bruce needs a nemesis, a reason to be constantly alert. So Alfred decides to transform himself into that for him, and becomes the Joker, with all that entails. It's a dark story and also a cool Joker origin. Short, sweet, to the point. Moving on. Number 7. Joker from Smallville. Smallville was a hugely successful WB then CW show that began in 2001, a series about Clark growing up in Smallville, coming into his own, and eventually about halfway through forming the Justice League, which was a mileage varies kind of thing. The series would end after 10 seasons, but would continue on in comic book form, and the comic book would introduce characters that they couldn't get into the show, like Batman and eventually the Joker. But the Smallville version of the Joker was very different. He first debuted in Smallville Alien number 3. This Joker is an alternate version of Batman who comes from a crime syndicate style Earth where he is kind of like their Owlman, but as the Joker, but as an alternate version of Batman. Yeah, people are real keen on intertwining these two, but I still fully believe Batman would just go about his crusading if Joker wasn't there, because, well, he does, but the reverse, I don't know. The Joker has codependency issues. Number 6. 3 Jokers. So at the end of the New 52, right before Rebirth, when Batman got in his omniscience magic chair that told him all the things, including some things he's already learned several times, like who killed his parents, one of the default questions he asked it was, what's the Joker's real name? And then he was all like, no, that's not true. That's impossible. But oh, it is possible, and that possibility is there are 3 Jokers. Why? Cause why not? What does having a multifaceted villain who changes to match his opponent, who has changed over time to account for, well, changes in the medium count for? Nothing. 3 Jokers, one for each era, who all are obsessed with Batman. Are they all the same age? Are they from different universes? I mean, maybe it'll be great, but as it stands, I hate it. And I'm still waiting, because this story was supposed to come out after Doomsday Clock, but Doomsday Clock is still delayed because of the art. And Doomsday Clock was supposed to clear up plot points about what really caused the New 52. So yeah, too late for that now. But after it finishes, 3 Jokers can launch. And what will it mean? Well, the writer has claimed it will be canon only if you want it to be, that fans will decide, like the Killing Joke. But is that really accurate? Because the Killing Joke had repercussions that you couldn't avoid, whether you liked it or not. Will this be like that? Well, again, still waiting. If this is the future, in that case the present, tell me all your feelings. Number 5. Martha Wayne Joker. Halfway through with the Joker from the Flashpoint universe world created by the Flash Barry Allen when he went back in time to save his mom from being killed by the Reverse Flash. This was during the Reverse Flash's constant "let's ruin Barry's life" crusade. The world that the Flash creates is, shock of shocks, a mess. It was actually on the brink of destruction because of a war between the Amazons and the Atlanteans. Now back to Doomsday Clock for a minute. Some of that is supposed to be because of Dr. Manhattan messing with Superman's origin, because he's discovered that Superman is the center of the metaverse, which he calls the main DC universe. But again, that's late, so thanks a lot, Barry. In this world, Bruce was gunned down the alley, not his parents, but they had 2 very different reactions, each stemming off of the Killing Joke principle: it just takes one bad day. Bruce's father, Thomas, becomes Batman, while his mother, Martha, becomes the Joker. The panels of her cracking are quite chilling. This created a sad, tragic romance element to Batman and the Joker. The 2 can even talk rationally at times, like when Thomas goes to tell her of a world where their son lived. Still, just saying, that's an extreme reaction to your son dying. Just know, a lot of murder. And why would you dye your hair green? Don't think about it, just go with it. It's poetic. Number 4. Bianca Steeplechase from Thrill Killer. This is an intriguing Elseworld story steeped in 60s counterculture. Batman in 1961 during the sexual revolution. I'm not just saying that to say it, the comic revels in it. So here we have a femme Joker, a female Joker. In this story, the Joker is a gangster with her own mall, who is just Harley Quinn. She frames Bruce for the murder of Selina Kyle, and she also kills Robin with a poison kiss. This Joker is doing all the things. And the comic finds the idea of a gender-swapped Joker really hot. Lots of loving cleavage happening in this comic, but some of it's drawn like not anatomically correctly, and that's all I'm staring at. I don't know. I noticed it anyway. But seriously, if you like out there Elseworlds fare that's just going hard or going home, then this might be for you. Number 3. Joker from Bloodstorm, or just the Batman Dracula trilogy. This Joker also comes from an Elseworld story. This is the famous Batman vampire one, wherein Batman becomes a vampire to defeat Dracula, and then he just has to be a terrifying vampire crime fighter haunted by bloodlust. He's just horrifying to look at, especially in the last one. There are 3. You can get them all as a trade now though. So in this series, the Joker is leading a group of vampires. He actually took over from Dracula because I guess they felt he had a similar vibe. His war against Batman actually sees him breaking the Dark Knight, whom he forces to give into his bloodlust and rage and feed on him. Batman kills the Joker before he turns, because who would want to deal with a vampire Joker? But he is haunted by this and feels that even in death, the Joker has won, as he forced his hand to break his no-killing rule. See, even when the Joker loses, he wins. It's just not fair. Can we just start counting Jokers now? There are 8 Jokers. Are they canon or not? You decide. But then 5G will happen and nothing will matter. Welcome back to Top 10 Nerd, I'm your host, Bitter Betty. Number 2. Tim Drake, Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. First off, this movie is great, so go watch it. This takes place in the Batman Beyond universe, wherein Batman is now Terry McGinnis, and he actually has his own rogues and villains, but is occasionally haunted by a villain from the past, as is the case here, when he must go up against the Joker. But who is this Joker? Well, it turns out, spoilers, so if you don't want to know for a movie that came out over a decade ago, get out now, it's Tim Drake, the 3rd Robin overall, but the 2nd in the DCAU continuity. That's the DC animated universe. He was kidnapped as a child by the Joker and Harley Quinn and tortured and mutilated to become a mini Joker, but it turned out the Joker had also implanted him with a computer chip that transformed him into the Joker. It's quite the transformation sequence. And number 1, the Batman Who Laughs. I think you knew this was coming. He's everywhere. Some are even sick of him. It's the Joker Batman from the dark multiverse, the negative multiverse, because negative numbers are bad and they should feel bad. So this Joker is Bruce Wayne. He was exposed to some kind of Joker toxin after he snapped the Joker's neck. We're going too far. On the count of 3. 1, 2, neck snap. This was after the Joker, knowing who he was recreating the tragic circumstances of Bruce's past, killing parents in front of their kids, then Jokerizing them. Too far. But the poison that Bruce inhaled slowly transformed him into the Joker. But with Bruce's cunning and paranoia and, well, lots of cruelty, cold murders in this series, ice cold. It's such a scary design too. Just imagine him walking towards you down a dark alley, slow walking. People are scarier when they walk up like they're not in a hurry. Nothing scarier than a person with free time. So those were 10 scary alternate versions of the Joker. Who did we miss? Which Joker is your fave? How many Jokers are there? Tell me down below. I'm Sasha, thanks so much for watching Top 10 Nerd. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that you never miss a vid. We'll see you again soon. Bye bye.